Today is a bit of a fun day. The veterans are going to be coming along and bringing some of their kids with them. What we're going to be getting them to do is contribute to building our wall, which is a cobb wall, or sometimes called a clunch wall. There was no evidence whatsoever found for walls on the site of the excavation of this roundhouse. So what that means is, assuming the building had walls, which we are, they were composed of a material that completely degraded or dissolved over time. They didn't leave any stains, as you would expect timber to do. So we've looked at the local geology, which is very much chalk, and decided that what we'll do is build our walls out of chalk. So if we put a chalk wall on chalk over 3,200 years, it's going to dissolve and leave no trace. So we've got, on the one hand, a good building material. It's a building material that's been used in historical periods, so we know it's actually been done, but it also fits with the evidence, or particularly with the lack of evidence that we have. The chalk walls are a really important part of our experiment.
You're using the giant fork?
I'm trying to use the giant fork, yeah.
There's a spider in that clay, and I don't think I liked it.
Oh, fair enough.
We're breaking up all the chalk in this big pile here, which we had delivered the other day. I think it's 19 tonnes of chalk in total, but we've got to get it from there onto the walls and also mix it up with some straw to make that cobb or clunch mixture, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to put it in the barrow, and then the kids are going to take some straw and they're going to mix it all in together, which sounds really easy, but it's a really stiff mixture. We don't want it to be really wet and sloppy, because then it's just like soup and the wall will fall apart. So I'm really hoping that the kids will help do maybe another 6 inches or so today. That'd be fantastic if we get that done.
Why is it so hard to separate?
I guess it's just this is the chalk we've been sent, and obviously you get different grades and qualities of chalk. Some chalk's lovely and white and soft and really lovely if you want to use it for carving, and some of it's a lot more like this. It's just ungraded, isn't it? It's just probably come straight out the ground. So hence you've got all of this finer material in between. But actually for us that works perfectly. So you want the mixture of bigger, not massive, you don't want boulders.
Yeah, these bits,
no, but
these larger
exactly. And when they're all mixed together, it's actually the perfect sort of mixture. So now the job is to start trying to mix it up. And there is some water in here, but you can see we've got some really, really big lumps. So if you find a massive lump, you can sort of get some of the chalk off. And then maybe we can put the massive lumps on and we can break them up into smaller bits. Yeah, go stick your hands in. Get mixing.
It's like
Nice.
putting glue on stones.
It'll not only last a really long time because it'll go really hard like concrete, but it'll probably be a really good way of keeping your house warm inside.
Wait, this is a lot like concrete.
Yeah. It is, it's ancient concrete, isn't it?
Bronze Age I really like, because it's like the first discovery of metal and how they make the copper out of malachite, burning malachite into copper. If it wasn't for Bronze Age and with the Britons discovering tin, there wouldn't have really been like the need in Romans invading, and that's because they came up to Cornwall to get the tin. And as soon as Britain became part of the Roman Empire, they didn't really use the tin a lot because they had more accessible mines in Spain, which were easier to get.
Do you want to be an archaeologist? Do you want to do archaeology when you're an adult?
Yes.
Good, because otherwise it'd be a waste. You're great, you know loads, don't you?
Yeah.
Actually, you'll put people like me to shame. He knows way more than me. That's embarrassing.
I'm going to do it from the outside.
Outside in.
We were able to tip it before, but we might just have to do it by hand now.
Unless you just lift it up and you'll have to scoop out the wheelbarrow, okay?
I don't want to end up making a really narrow wall as it tapers and tapers towards the top. So the aim is to try to keep it nominally the same width all the way up.
Is that quite fun to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is half of the house using turf wall and the other clunch wall?
That is a really good question. First of all, we started out thinking that the whole wall would be a turf wall, because in places in Scandinavia, Shetland, they built houses using turf walls. But of course the turf there is on a different kind of geology, so the soil is different. So you get a much bigger, like nice meaty slab of turf, and it's brilliant for building a wall with, and it's really solid. But here, the turf's not so good. It's a really chalky soil, and it's very similar to the archaeology that this house was excavated. So we then started to think, well, if we can't have turf because it's just going to crumble away, what can we use? And I suppose that's kind of how we ended up thinking about using chalk, because it would have been there and readily available.
My 9-year-old Evan, he is in his element. He is really, really relishing. I mean, this is learning, this is proper learning. This is, he's read the books, he's seen the horrible histories on telly, and we've been to Butser many times, but this is proper getting stuck in and learning all about it.
How did the Bronze Age and Iron Age people wash their clothes?
So in lots of villages and towns, there used to be a really big cauldron or a big pot at the entrance to the town, and they'd ask people to pee in it as they arrived at the town. And they'd use that urine for washing clothes and for dyeing clothes as well, because the wee kind of fixes the colour in the clothes. Do you know what? The ancient world must have been so smelly.
Hands-on history. It's the best way to learn. It really is.
Yeah, and I think what we have here is a pretty representative Bronze Age work crew.
Even the youngsters, would they get involved? Do they help?
I think you can say, logically, they must have done, because these are very small communities, but there's actually evidence for it. So there's been analysis done on some soil that was worked into balls, I think, into some sort of clump in Eastern Europe, and they analysed the size of the hands that were doing it. And the conclusion was men, women, children. So we've actually got archaeological evidence that we can be almost certain that children were involved.
So
in
they've left
process.
there, in bits you found, they've left handprints and such like.
Just hand impressions of some sort or other, yeah. I get into a mild rage every time I see a textbook or a website that represents, often it's an Iron Age family. So dad's there with a shield and a spear, we presume he's dad. Mum's down grubbing in the dirt with a pot. Not every man had a spear and a shield. Most of them worked in the field. I'm certain not every woman was just a slave to cooking. It was a diverse world. We didn't invent mixed gender roles. We didn't invent fun. We didn't invent emotion. That's a basic human characteristic, and they were humans. They were as human as you and I, so I'm sure they mixed up life a lot more than wearing a moustache and having a shield and spear.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. We've got last little bit to do. I need some helpers. Any volunteers?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Well, this is what he wants to build in the garden.
Oh, I just splashed myself in the face.
Splash yourself. Makes change.
Woo!
Definitely. He absolutely loves this hands-on approach, this experimental archaeology. You like doing your puzzles, your Sudoku, it's a bit like that. You've got some bits and pieces you can utilise, and it is just a case of trying to fill in all the gaps and potentially coming up with, this is how it used to look.
One day, 20 years into the future or something like that, I come along here, and then here are all the houses, and this one me and my dad helped build.